Welcome back everyone to our next video at the Wudang Way tutorial. We're still working through our basic stances. This week is our Pubu or our drop stance sequence. We've already went over the videos to introduce it and to kind of get you into the actual position of the posture, like going over some of the basic structures. We're also going to be using some of the basics from Mabu and Gombu series, so make sure you're really clear on those details as well. But we'll be going through them as we go through the video. In this video, we're going to be going through the standing drill. So the basics that we do in one position, moving from left to right side. For these two stances, now we're going to get into the mobility and the real flexibility of the movement, where we really start training some of the dynamic parts of it that we're going to use in the form. Okay? So for movement wise, we're going to start really clear and go from Mabu into Gombu just like usual. So we step out, step over, and from here, go ahead and stick the hand straight out. From here, we're going to have a different hand movement that we'll break down, and then we'll combine that with the footwork to drop down into Pubu. To go through the stance, the first thing that we want to do is we're going to be swinging the arm from the back, so swinging down. So if we're going towards the right, we're going to go from Mabu into a Gombu and swing the left hand. So now the left hand is pointing towards the right, and we're just going to use open palms, the right hand kind of circling back to the elbow crease. So we have this position. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to continue through that as if one, and then open turn, and then as we turn around, we're going to pivot down into Pubu, into this position. So some of the things to look for here is we still got that hip hinge, we still got the heel flat on the ground, knee open, leg straight, body leaned in, and now to add the hands in Pubu, we're going to have the backhand. To match this, we're going to have it rounded, so squatted leg, rounded arm with the hand facing up, and then the straight arm in front to parallel the straight leg. So we're going to be looking in this direction, kind of downwards. Okay, so we have one side, then we're going to pivot so we can drop this hand, and then we come up into Mabu, and we have the same position. Looking towards where we're going, dropping the right into Gombu, and then continuing through that as if that was a swing, and we continue, and then rotate around, adjusting the right leg as we go, and dropping the weight down into Pubu again. Okay, so to demo that a few times, we're just going to go through. And we're going to pivot 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3, kind of making that continuous motion. 1, reaching as far as you can and dropping down. And again, Mabu, Gombu, switch, Pubu. Mabu, Gombu, switch, Pubu. And one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we get to this movement, what we can do is we can really just think about the backhand swinging down and kind of like leaning forward. So it helps me to think about making this left arm kind of like reaching forward, and you're coming up into Mabu, dropping into Gombu. Be really careful of like sticking the butt up in the air or leaning too far forward. We want to make sure that we're reaching, but we're not falling and collapsing or like raising the body. We want to sink down and swing the arm. We come around, sometimes bring this heel back in so you can hip hinge down. What's really easy to have happen here is to slowly open and keep getting wider and wider until you can't get into a proper stance anymore. So we want to make sure that we keep that sucked in and drop the weight down with the hips as we come around. Okay? Leaning forward as far as we can, then opening the knee, coming up, getting the Mabu really nice and clear, swing, and pivot over. Okay, and then we can just come straight up and relax. So that is going to be our standing basic. Remember that you can take apart the hands and kind of work on them separate. You know, working on getting the shoulder really relaxed so you're swinging. We can stop in Gombu, flipping over, and then dropping the weight into Pubu. Make it into 3 movements. Make it into Mabu, Gombu, and Pubu. So we're getting a little bit of review at the same time as we're going through the movement. But really just isolate one movement. If you're reaching towards the right, trying to get the body reached as far as you can before you start swinging, and this will keep making sense the more you go through the basic. You can start from a high position and keep working lower. So if you start up here and you get your hands nice and relaxed and you're getting your shoulders down, then each time you go through it, you can be dropping the weight until you start getting the hit down here and really reaching the arm as far, like as if this was a big swing, as far as you can. Like swing way out here so you open the body here and then drop back down, balance, swing the body over, drop body down, very soft in the shoulders. And then when we're done, we can just shift back into marble and come back in with the feet softly, relax close. Remember, for Pubu, this is one of our specialty stances, so the emphasis is all on flexibility and mobility, but having strength through those motions. So it's really important to keep the motion smooth and controlled and slow in the beginning, because you really want to make sure you're getting all of the range of motion out of it and not just rushing, trying to get too low, putting too much weight on the knees, not putting the load on the right joint at the right time. So take your time through it, work slowly, gradually, lower and lower and lower, okay? We'll keep working on this. This is going to come back a lot in our Taiji forms, and especially in our 5 animals Qigong. So if you know that set, this is going to be a really good practice to kind of help out your snake posture. So keep reviewing it, and then tomorrow in the next video, we're going to go through a couple different variations to give you a little bit more emphasis on the hip hinge and some different range of motion that you can do with Pubu. Okay, so keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to hit subscribe, check out all the information underneath. There you can navigate to the Ways of Wudang Patreon account. And by becoming a Patreon, you can get access to all the main channel resources around martial arts, Taoist philosophy, even Chinese music, and group classes, live streams, one-on-one courses, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So I hope you'll go check that out, and I hope to see you there. Once more, thank you for all your support. We'll see you in the next video.